What's up guys, Ashtinho Plays here and welcome back to the FIFA 16 Sheffield United Career Mode series, and today is episode 9 of season 3, and as you can see we have a ridiculously busy schedule with 3 games in less than a week, but hopefully our squad's going to be resilient enough to cope with that, and we've got 2 league games up first against Sunderland and Newcastle, so yeah, I mean hopefully we're not going to be too tired. And obviously the FA Cup replay, we really don't want to lose that one, so yeah, I mean, we'll see how we cope. It's not going to be easy though, it really isn't, because this is that time of the season where if you can't get through it, you're not going to end up finishing the season well. So it kind of defines where your season is going to end up. And we have to make sure we're at least picking up a point and not losing games at the moment. So, you know, we'll see about that, but it's a pretty tough away game because, you know, we're playing against a side struggling in the lower reaches of the table, and defensively they're probably going to play a lot of players in their own half and sit very deep, so how we'll cope with that remains to be seen. But anyways, first clip to the game, so it's like it was that boring that there literally wasn't any for the first half. It was just that bad that in the first half there was no notable action. But that, I guess you could say that changed in the second. This year, very good chance, and that should have been a goal for them, but they didn't take it. And then here we were advancing forward and looked to have plenty of space, but here we didn't quite pick the right pass. Could easily have got a goal though. And then not many real clear-cut openings, but as you can see they try the cross here and it doesn't come off. And then Burns here with like 10 minutes left to go, he cuts in and he's stopped, so he doesn't get anywhere with that. And that pretty much summed up the game. It continued with just 8 minutes left to go. This shot though from Berahino was close. Berahino, who they signed in this career mode. But no one could find the net in the end, and it ends all square at 0-0. A stalemate that probably suits us better, to be honest, because, you know, we didn't exert ourselves too much and we should be able to cope with the upcoming fixture congestion. So yeah, I would argue that that suits us better. So moving on to the next game now, the rematch against Newcastle, who were beat 1-0 earlier in the season away from home. But that was an incredibly tight game and could have ended up 0-0, so yeah, a 0-0 wouldn't be an overly surprising result this time because, as you can see, we're not starting our strongest 11 in an attempt to try and preserve fitness ahead of an important FA Cup replay. So yeah, we are starting Ambrose and Agar up front, a different combination and one that we haven't turned to many times this season, but Dicko's tired, so he needs a rest. And we're going to be giving him that rest, so yeah, I mean 3 points would be a bonus, but this is just one of those games that I would rather prefer not to lose than worry about anything else. So a point would probably do us in this one, but you know, we'll see what happens. As you can see here, the 2 lineups preparing for kickoff, and focus on Gouffran, but let's be honest, he's just not good. Like, if anyone knows real life football, they'll know that he's not a very good player. But yeah, I mean, Riviere, another such example. Like, he doesn't play in real life, so it just tells you how realistic their squad is for this game. But yeah, they did have the first opening. We had one here, but Agar's shot was well blocked, so. And then Aaron's against his old club, no one really challenging him, and he takes the shot. It's well saved, so it was a relatively lively encounter in the first half, more lively than in the last game certainly, in which there was no action in the first 45 minutes pretty much, but it was still goalless, and it was going to take a moment of genius to get a goal because both defences were playing pretty well. But Aaron's here nearly pulled it off had he not missed the shot. I mean, it would have been a superb goal if he had scored, but his finishing wasn't quite up to the mark. And here Dicko looks to be through, but that shot is deflected and well saved in the end. Could have been awkward for the goalkeeper, but it wasn't. And then Cabela, in the late stages of the game, no one challenging him, and he misses that shot somehow. And then it ends up at 0-0. So 2 consecutive 0-0s and another point. So, I mean, as I say, a draw obviously suits us better because we're looking to try and preserve our fitness as much as possible. Considering that this is the most difficult period of the season, so yeah, as I say, it is the FA Cup replay now, and we are playing the strongest, pretty much the strongest lineup, you could say, that we can, aside from perhaps not playing Ambrose. But yeah, I mean, we're playing a strong lineup in the attempt to make it through to the 4th round safely. In the last game, away from home, we were 3-2 having been behind twice, but we threw it with a penalty, so that's why we're here. Now, preferably, we would have won that original game, but we couldn't hold out defensively, and we've been punished with having to play this replay, which will yet again tire our players out. So yeah, I mean, this game being on the Tuesday, for the first game of next episode we play on a Saturday, I believe, so not much respite. However, first and foremost, we need to focus on getting ourselves through to the 4th round. In the early stages here, John looks like he has an opening, but Tolisso really should do a lot better with that. He doesn't though, and the next best opening was that deflected shot that was relatively close, but it was never going in. And then from the corner here, we take it sort of out swinging, and it doesn't get anywhere. Keeper saves that one quite well. We try something different here though with this one, and at the back post, Burns spots the opportunity and heads it off the bar. Really unlucky, and it ends as 0-0 at half time. So unlike the last game, not really much spark going forward from each side, and a stalemate still. So yeah, in this episode so far we still haven't even scored, which is pretty worrying, but we started to threaten more. This time the goalkeeper saves it and pushes it onto the bar. And then here, Musa picks up the ball, and look at that for a finish. That is superb. He picks the ball up, it's bouncing a little bit, and if you just have a look on the replay, his technique to hit that one at the bottom corner is supreme. The goalkeeper was never getting to that, he just curves it off his boot and into the net. A superb goal, and that was the spark of attacking genius that we needed. However, they could have equalised here if the rebound had fallen more kindly to them, but it didn't, thankfully for us. And we couldn't get it away here once again, giving them too much space, but that one wasn't on target. And then here, towards the end, with 6 minutes left to go, Dicko plays in Ambrose, he holds off his defender and scores to make it 2-0. Seals the tie, and we are going to be heading safely through to that 4th round. So all of our worries and scares from the previous game against them, I could say, because we fell twice behind, but we've amended those now, and a pretty comfortable win. We could have scored again there because the keeper was out of his net, but the shot wasn't quite on target. But it was little matter because, you know, we end up with a 2-0 win, so we are going to be into that 4th round now, and we can forget about the FA Cup for a little bit, although it's not overly too long before we have to play in the 4th round. So yeah, anyways, that is it for the games in this episode. So I mean, as you can see, we've still held on to that 4th position despite 2 draws, which is pretty good for us. So it's a crunch time of the season. If we can keep ourselves in contention, that would be great. But anyways, I mean, we're not threatening the top 3 really, but we're holding on well to our position. So anyways, if you're excited to see the next episode, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out.